I've got one episode left to save me from salt licorice. So even if it's true, but they don't reveal it, I've got to do the licorice. So I need them to make that reveal in the finale. Damn it. Hey, Internet. It's Paul. It's Matt. The Dork Lords. We're here talking about Foundation. Season 1, Episode 9. The First Crisis. We open with a flashback to young Salvor Hardin on Terminus, asking her dad where people came from originally. He mentions Earth as a possibility. They talk about why people from the same origin can hate each other. He mentions logic versus emotion. Sounds like he's a good Vulcan. And Salvor's dad gives the famous Asimov line.
Yes.
Violence is the last refuge of the incompetent. Which is going to come into play later, but we'll talk about that. Okay, so that's that. We end with a presumably digital Harry Seldon emerging from the recently activated vault and noting with enthusiasm, it's good to see Anacreons, Thespins, and termites, whatever, together on the planet. And he says it gives him hope that they might pull this off. Paul.
Yes.
This is a penultimate episode of the season.
That's true. It's penultimating.
Penultimating. What did you think of this penultimate episode?
I liked the episode. I felt, things were happening, and I was glad to see Harry back.
Pushing the plot forward.
Yep. I haven't been as negative on the Terminus stuff as you. But, them killing Farah, boy.
Definitely pushes that plot along.
I mean, it was kind of obvious that her plan, it would have been far ballsier if her plan had worked than for her.
That's a great point, right? You go through all the trouble of it, and then in story arc terms, actually have it manifest would be like, whoa!
It would have been perhaps on the level of a show that we will be talking about again soon, The Expanse.
Oh, sure, The Expanse.
Where
they did have it work. Yeah.
They did have their crazy plan work, and that was pretty, that was.
I think the idea here,
in a way.
Yeah, certainly. I think the idea here was they being the writers, wanted a way to get the Invictus, the ship, at Terminus, have the Thespins and Anacreons and the Termini together, and then have them all like, oh, look, we have a bargaining chip now, and if we all work together, instead of fighting each other, we can take on territory.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate that, Farah was so, the story they were telling with her. Right. And, I don't have a problem with it per se, but, it was like, I must have my vengeance. I must crash into the planet. And it's like, okay, you are very ambitious. And the thing, of course, that, irritates you is like, boy, did you get lucky with that plan.
There were a lot of variables, and it all worked out.
It's like, it's amazing that it worked out that well up until that point.
It really did. It was like, that, whew, you basically, like, maxed out the potential for this plan. I'll say this, because you're talking about it. The other part of this that bothered me a little bit was the fact that the way she died, right? So she is shooting at the vault. She's using the little auto drone, and okay, hey, don't blow up the vault. That'd be great. And so Salvor picks up Farah's bow and shoots her from behind through her neck, killing her with her own bow. And the fact that the episode began with her dad going, violence. That's the last refuge of the incompetent. And then she ends it by killing this person. There are other ways she could have dealt with that situation. To incapacitate Farah, for instance, without killing her. They're going to knock her down. Who knows? But it wasn't self-defense, right? She wasn't shooting at Salvor. She's shooting at the vault. Okay, the vault's still taking the damage at the moment. And you know how I solve it? Kill her. It just felt like the message of the show.
It's like wounding her is, it's like you have to shoot her arm off so that you can't still press that button. It's like it's like, oh, that hurt, but I can still press the button. But
so there was that. I mean, there was the fact that you're right. in the moment, do you kill her? Do you not? She chose to kill her.
Yes, that was the
But
choice.
then also the reaction from her followers. So Farah's followers, they spend a few seconds like, hey there. And the one guy picks up his gun. And he's like, ah. But they're easily talked out of retribution. Which in that moment, I'm like, would you? I mean, this is Salvor has been the enemy for however long they've been on the planet, whatever. Like, that's your enemy.
Right.
She just, in front of us, publicly killed our leader from behind.
But they did set you up to think, aren't you going a little too far? And, even earlier in that episode, it's like, isn't that enough? Should we, maybe we shouldn't?
I hear that. It's just that these aren't...
I don't know if you do.
Okay, you're right. I don't hear that. It washes over me. Because these aren't, as far as I can tell, these are not soldiers that are in it for like a paycheck. They signed up for essentially a suicide mission. And they're following their leader to the end, and so they're dedicated is kind of my point. And to see their leader shot by their enemy, I feel like that would cause much more trouble than it caused. That's all. I don't know.
Maybe.
It just felt like it felt false. It felt like the writers wanted that to happen. Oh, look, it's her bow. That's pretty metaphorical, and she shoots her with it. And then that's the ending of that saga with her own bow.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they're trying to set, especially with Harry Seldon saying, "Ooh, you guys are together. Maybe we can," is that they wanted to be in a place and they were willing to lose Farah, and that's why, it's like maybe it would have been better if they tried to, keep her around. But they established her as so single-minded, and maybe that's the point they wanted to make, and so. It's sort of like, maybe all the other people on this death mission were sort of like, we kind of owe her, and we're probably going to get killed anyway. We're used to that, and, we don't really have too many options ahead of us. And, it worked.
I think you're right. I think that's probably
something different. But no, we're going to do this crazy plan that will kill us. It's like, wait a minute. It seems like we have another option now that we didn't have before.
Okay. No, you're right. I mean, yes, I could see that arc being played out by her followers. That mindset, like, follow it through.
Maybe you want him to hear that they hear before, like, I could shoot you, but here's my thinking.
No, this just made me just think of something pretty funny. So it seems like the digital Harry Seldon is functional like an AI, like is able to perceive data and respond. But what if the digital Harry Seldon was just like literally like, I predicted this would happen, and so this is just a recording. So he comes out and he's like, good to see Thespians and Anacreons. And meanwhile, they're just killing each other left and right in front of him. Like, I'm really glad this plan's worked out. That would be awesome. But no, okay. Yeah.
Well, then you imagine something else. It's like, we're Bespins, not Thespians. Like, what the heck? That's like, right. What the heck is he?
Something I was going to mention is the way Invictus went back to Terminus. You had Salvor did stay awake through the jump, as I thought she might.
Yes.
It's more evidence that she's Gale's daughter, which
sure.
I've got one episode left to save me from salt licorice. So even if it's true, but they don't reveal it, I've got to do the licorice. So I need them to make that reveal in the finale. Damn it! All right, anyway.
I predict if they do not verify that, and you have to eat the licorice, that it will be still a bitter taste in your mouth the next season when they do confirm it.
You'll be like, right. Good point. Can I take it back?
Taste it.
So, but the way that they did get there, but Invictus back to Terminus, is that the Lewis guy, the guy who'd been making all the dumb choices throughout this, finally he does a sacrificial lamb
I will redeem myself, yes.
Yeah, so he had managed to hook himself up on the one-way trip, killing himself, but getting them to Terminus. Rest in peace, Lewis. I would say basically there's more or less two plot lines. We didn't see Brother Day having returned from the spiral trip yet. He's still returning. And we didn't see Gale. Gale's on her 138-year trip to Synax. Mm-hmm. We did have somebody in the comments point out a good point. They were like, because I was like, it didn't really make sense that she go to Synax, but commenter pointed out, like, well, in the moment, she's desperate to get off the ship. Where's she going to go? Where would she go? It's like, home is what she knows. Wherever she goes, it's going to be way too late. She's not going to know anybody there. So why not just go to a planet And so she picks Synax. So I could see
sure.
that.
Yeah, no, she certainly wasn't on at Trento for very long.
And she probably wouldn't be welcome there.
And then, and then, her boyfriend got killed.
So, she's basically going to a place that she knows is, like, flooded out, which probably means there's no one there, so it's a safe.
Well, there still might be people who figured out a way to survive through that.
There's some payoff to that, for sure.
I would think. Also, it'd be interesting to see how, if your theory, I'm not sure that Selden is digital.
Oh, you think
I think it's
Selden we're
possible
saying on
that,
Terminus? Okay.
No, I think it's possible that they communicated the information to some clone or something that he did. He cloned himself or something, and so
they do have cloning
the information
technology.
that was in the information that was in the in that little piece that they pulled out of him.
Sure, definitely had some kind of
communicated to him. So because it's like, I guess it's possible that there could be some sort of mid-air technology that's a part of the vault that allows him to have some sort of area around there where he can appear and look real. But one thing they made a point of showing us with the when Harry Seldon was definitely digital and popping up in different places is he seemed to be glitching. It had a sort of I'm not really here feel to it, which I did not get from that final scene. So
that's true. He was not glitching. I would agree. So what's the difference between Terminus Harry Seldon and Spaceship Harry Seldon? Okay. Yeah. I got you. Yeah, I think we will learn more about that for sure.
Oh, sure. In the It'd be too funny. Like, did you want to see more of that?
Yeah. But the other big plot line from this one was Brother Dawn.
Yes.
Sorry, got a little cough here.
It's all right.
Brother Dawn has made plans with Azura to escape. And he's like, all right, tomorrow or whatever the next, he follows the path. They do a little diorama. Like, okay, I need to go here, got it. But everything, the timetable is moved up because Brother Dusk puts a little trap on him. And I like the trap. I like the idea because we've seen the tapestry before. It's all based on color.
Oh, yes,
it's something that the brothers all have to do. Sure. You can imagine this Brother Dawn getting to that phase and being like, I don't know. Everything's blue. Anyway, but it's basically, hey, I did a tapestry version of our hunt. Can you see the bird? And now I'm like, yeah, sure. And then he puts on the lenses and realizes, it was testing my color blindness, and I failed the test.
Yeah.
So now he's like, I got to get out of here now. I got to go because they're gonna come for me. And it seems like they, because from what we know by the end of the episode, they basically kind of push him along, right? He escapes because they want him to.
Yeah.
Please lead us to the people that are in charge of this. So they play this game, and they're like, oh, no, where could he be? Put a guard walking around. He's like, he's so, the non-stealthy guy getting through. He's the Inspector Clouseau kind of, like So he gets through, thinks he's clever and gets out, escapes down into the Scar region, trades his protective bracelet for a coat, which he probably regrets later, though they probably would have just taken it from him anyway. I don't know, can you take it from him? Is it that simple, or is he the only person that can open it? That seems like a loophole, if you could be like, no, I'm protected, except if you just unclasp my bracelet. So I feel like he's probably the only one that can do that, is my guess.
Well, maybe. Or if you really go in slowly.
Right.
Maybe that's the trick. My kingdom for a coat.
For a coat. And so he meets up with Azura. We had theorized previously, like, okay, well, this could be on the up and up, but also she does have a certain spy vibe about her.
Yeah, she does.
And sure enough, the spy vibe is what one out in the day. So she's like, hey, just, you know what? Go take a shower, relax. Everything is fine. And he's about to take a shower, and then he was like, oh, wait, I had a question. And he comes back, and she's there with a gun, and she shoots at him, which is the part I didn't understand why she's shooting at him there. Because it feels like, because she wings, like the wall goes, I'm like, it's not a stun setting. It's I'm shooting at you. So to me, it's like she was trying to kill him, which, given what we know in the next few minutes after that, they need him for his they're going to transfuse his blood, stuff like that. So it's easier to do when he's alive. I think you had pointed out, they'll just press the dead corpse of him, get the blood out. But the fact that she was trying to kill him there, I thought there were a lot of ways she could have handled that too. Like, let's have a drink, a little nightcap, knock him out, whatever. It's like, he's still on board, right? He's not an unwilling participant at this point, and to shoot him with the gun or point the gun at him, now you're like, okay, you're on the defensive. Anyway, so thought that was not handled as brilliantly.
Maybe she's not a very skilled spy.
I got you. Although, boy, her technique up till now has been perfect.
Yes.
But
yeah.
So,
should I jump now? Should I jump to my death?
You'll just have to kill me then.
Yeah.
Wow, look at that. He gets knocked out, essentially, and when he comes to, he's face to face with himself. There's been this major plot that's been going on since before he was born, leading up to this moment. So that's, I don't know how old he is, but he's probably, 20-ish, something like that?
Yeah.
So let's say, several years they've been like,
yes.
And so apparently when he was still a little tiny clone, they changed his some version of his DNA so that he would have these differences, knowing that at some point that would become apparent and he'd be forced, he'd be convinced to leave.
Right.
And then meanwhile they had a perfect clone of Cleon growing in the scar, and he's practiced all the mannerisms, and he's in the moment he's dressed, he's got the outfit on.
Yes.
And they're standing there like, I'm you, and then you can see when the transfusion happens, he heals up perfectly.
Yeah.
Whereas now our actual brother Don, he doesn't have the healing factor anymore.
Right.
And it was like, what are you going to do with me now? Well, you know what's going to happen. We're about to kill you, but no, Brother Dusk had figured the whole thing out.
Yes.
And they swoop in, kill everybody, including the fake brother Dawn.
Yes.
And they take Azura hostage, and Brother Dawn's like, wait, I was a victim. Sure, I followed them along here and I came in, but they damaged me first.
Yes.
So, hey, this isn't the plot. You don't have to get rid of me because it's not my fault, is basically his argument. Good argument. It's an argument I'd probably make in that situation. And and he says, but also Brother Day has to decide on this, not you, old man.
Yes.
And Brother Dusk agrees, and he's like, well, he's almost back from his trip.
Yes.
And so off they go back to the capital, whatever. And meanwhile, Brother Day is arriving, and there'll be a judgment of whether or not to destroy the current Brother Dawn and replace him with a more perfect copy. So before we talk about, I have some ideas on that, but what are your thoughts on that the plot, how it went down, all that stuff?
Yeah, I mean, it's another sort of, I guess not as drastic as the Destroy Trentor plot. It's, I guess, it's kind of hard to imagine if they had succeeded in that plot.
Sure.
What, he could have done to really, it would have been interesting if they decided to do that, but they found a way around that.
Yeah, that's one of the issues I have with this moment is they introduce us to this completely new character, a compelling character. Hey, I was raised to impersonate the Empire, and I'm ready to take over, and this is my moment of triumph. And then within a few minutes, they kill him off. And you're like, man, that just seems like a waste of introducing us to this whole concept and then undercutting it, which is why I think I don't think this is likely, but I think it's possible that somehow they ended up killing the wrong brother Dawn.
Did you think of this? That they cut his throat.
Exactly.
That's what they did. And then it's
like, he bleeds. He's bleeding. Whereas we just saw earlier, he's like, I have the healing factor now.
Yeah.
So
it's like, we keep trying to kill him, and it's not working, brother Dusk. Like,
damn it,
die.
So I think. Again, I feel like based on what they were showing us, the most logical explanation is that they did kill the imposter. But, boy, they set it up. He's wearing the same outfit. They're together in the same room. There's chaos happening. And then, the guy does bleed when he gets cut.
I mean...
Is it possible that this other guy's now pretending, oh, God, oh, no, I have to go back and be judged. Oh,
I would suggest perhaps it's entirely possible that there's yet another clone still. They had a backup plan, so it's not like he's the wrong one necessarily, but they could have another one ready to go.
Sure. I guess it would be easy enough to figure out based on the DNA differences. Like the one that the real brother Dawn, that we are talking the real one, has these problems, right? They're not corrected. So, like, hey, do you have color blindness? Yes? Okay, then you're the real guy. As opposed to, apparently these other versions are actual...
actual clones that haven't been... So they're indistinguishable. Yeah. So, if they had somebody on the inside who, if they decided to kill Dawn, could be like, okay, well, let's just open up this one. Don't open it. Bring the guy in on the side.
Yeah. Right. And on that note...
Boy, was I wet!
On that note, we did mention this before, and I think this is still valid as a theory that they mentioned in this episode. Oh yeah, before you were born, we were screwing with your DNA. Yeah. So they have inside help, and the individual that works with the little baby clones is Demerzel, and so it is leading to this idea that maybe. Part of that, we know that her religion, she believes in this idea of like breaking this genetic heritage and stuff, so that maybe she was motivated partially by her religion to push this along. We need some variants to like let these people grow. Anyway, I feel like that could be their inside person. Their contact is Demerzel.
Could be.
And I also feel like this is the payoff of the spiral trip, right? So Brother Day did this spiral and he fooled everybody into thinking he had a vision when he didn't.
Sure.
But it has, I think, perhaps genuinely made him question the genetic dynasty to a point of like, maybe I don't have a soul. And so now that he's coming, like his first act of coming back will be judging this brother who by no fault of his own is different. And I feel like it's going to make him decide maybe it's okay to let this brother live. And
it's hard to see him dramatically making a different choice, but I guess we'll see. We could think of the plotters as someone, as they're finished, but I think it's more likely that, there's still a segment of that resistance.
Oh, yeah. That's got to be a big organization.
Yeah, and we don't necessarily get the feeling that they're ones behind the sky bridge falling.
Right. I agree.
So
I agree.
They might be involved, they might not be.
So we're coming up to the finale for season 1.
Yes.
We've got, on Terminus, we've got these 3 groups that all seem to potentially, now that you got rid of the jerk leader,
yes,
they seem to be willing to perhaps work together, and they've got this giant spaceship as leverage. So you've got, potentially that the foundation is working in that way. They've gotten through the first crisis. I think we are going to see, because we've seen it in the trailer.
What was the first crisis? Was it the coup?
Yeah, I feel like it was like this, essentially a little mini war that they had to resolve.
Okay. All right.
We have seen in the trailer, I think, Gale landing on Synax. So I think we are going to see Gale on Synax perhaps 130 years in the future. And I don't know what that means or, what that plot line's going to reveal. Maybe that's an end, maybe end of the episode type of thing.
Or she may have some things to do at the start of it, and then at the end you discover, now she's in the future now, and
right.
And that's how,
okay.
So it's like it's a bookend, or throughout they have little things that I got to do this, I got to do that, and by the end I'll say I've done it. Now I can begin to do what I need to do well after the last scenes of the other part of the show you saw.
I did like, by the way the vault appeared when it got the little its covering disappeared and it turned into this brilliant gateway looking thing. I thought it was pretty.
Sure. Yeah.
It was a good visual. There's going to be essentially like a trial of the current brother Dawn.
Right.
And his fate is in Day's hands, and I feel like Brother Day is going to cut him a break for now. Maybe it's like you're on probation, sir. I don't know. In terms of matting folks for the finale, I think the people that could be matted are in that storyline as opposed to the Terminus one. I don't know that a lot of people in the Terminus are going to be matted at this point.
Right.
So I think your options, I think the most strong option to me is Azura. She's on the wrong side, and all of her buddies are dead, and she got captured to be interrogated. I feel like once she gives up her info, she becomes useless, and they're not going to be like, you know what? I think we need a gardener. Why don't you hang around? So I think she's.
You could certainly argue that Dawn is not motivated to do. Talk on her behalf,
That's true. She just pulled a gun on him, and you're right, exactly right. She the ultimate betrayal, that when I thought the actor played that bit well, where he suddenly is realizing, oh my God, this whole thing was a lie. Good Lord, you are a terrible person, and I'm in trouble. But that was good, and so she's I don't know how you redeem that character, perhaps in their eyes. But the other options would be perhaps one of the brothers. We had mentioned that maybe one of the brothers, whether it's Dawn or Day or Dusk, ends up dying as well, getting replaced.
Right.
And so I don't know. Do you feel like there's
what do you do? You think he's going to be saved though? Dawn is going to be saved, right?
I do. Here's where
it seems likely. I think it. I mean, dramatically, it would. It makes. I mean, I think it'd be a better story for the family to decide, or at least for Brother Day to. You know what? Maybe we should do things differently, and this is a way that they can maintain their genetic dynasty, but have some differences that might lead in a different direction. So.
Now, there is the prediction, however, that this denied dynasty would go away, or it'll lead to the fall of Trantor.
Right,
so if they fix it, maybe that means, look, everything's great. We're good now. So maybe, here's a possibility. Maybe Brother Day does spare him, but Brother Dusk is like, you know what? For the good of the genetic I'm going to order his assassination. And so he kills Brother Dawn anyway.
Interesting.
Maybe. I don't know. Just a thought on that.
Or maybe he plots to do it, and then Dave figures it out and has him killed.
All right. A little switcheroo.
Yeah.
I think the odds of one of the three of them dying are fairly high.
Yeah. But if it's Dusk just dying because it's his time...
I don't know if it's time yet, though, right? I mean, he's like, wait, no, look at the clock. I'm just fine. I'm not stepping into the vaporizer. The other thing that actually occurred to me when there was this whole color blindness trap thing, which made me think, maybe that's, we had this thing when we were originally introduced to Brother Dawn.
Right.
And he pretty significantly is like, erase that tapestry from my wall. He had a drawing on his wall or whatever, and he's like, get rid of it, I don't need it. Maybe part of it is because of his color blindness. He didn't really even see it that well. He's like, it's just such a reminder that I'm different. Yeah. Hell with it, get rid of it. I don't know. Maybe that was part of the motivation. But those are our thoughts. You out there, give us your thoughts on who you think might not survive the season finale. And where we'll be leaving off and how we're running into season 2. Obviously, there's a second foundation. Maybe we'll see a little glimpse of that as well. On Helicon. Maybe they'll be like, oh, look, get ready. Yeah, we've got a season of stuff for this. That could be a thing too. One other thought is, by the time this comes out, maybe this will already have happened, but I'll just mention it. I've been invited by Robert with In Deep Geek to do a 3-hour live stream on Tolkien's Second Age, Paul. I know you're excited about that.
Oh, wow. Yeah, boy. Woo!
I think, actually, I said, maybe Paul could just sit in for me on that. And he could
yeah.
So, because he loves
like
it so much.
Second Age, how old is it?
So, anyway, that's on Thursday, the 18th of November, from 5 to 8 Eastern Time. I'll be there. So if you care to join and ask all kinds of impossible questions and then make me shake my fist at you, feel free. Anyway, come on back. We're going to be talking about Foundation, the season finale next week. So, and then there'll be Thanksgiving, so giving thanks. So, Paul, thank you as always, good sir.
Oh, sure. You're welcome.
And we will see everybody next time. Bye.
Bye.